Hello and welcome back. Today we are gathered here in this very video mm, to talk about Damian Lillard and his return to the Portland Trail Blazers. Now we'll talk about his stats, the deal achieved, and then obviously what this means for the future of not only Portland but Dame. As we know, he tore his Achilles at the end of last year's regular season. He obviously missed the entire playoffs, and the Bucks were eliminated very early on. All right, to the Indiana Pacers for like the second year in a row, by the way, may I add. Oh wait, this might have been the playoff game actually. He was out. Yeah, this is probably a playoff game because Tyrese Halliburton had a game winner. So April, right? Yeah, I guess so. This was he got injured in the playoffs, I guess, because he played through it. Well, he had the deep vein stuff. He had like the vein stuff. And then he came back and played. He didn't play excellent at all, and then he tore his Achilles. Um, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about what Damian Lillard's stats look like and what he would look like besides the Portland Blazers, because we know the one position they're actually strong in is guards, right? We're talking Drew Holiday. We're talking Scoot Henderson. We're talking Shaden Sharp. We're talking Matisse Thybulle, who he's more of a forward, I guess. But, they have guards. Point being, right? Like if you look at the other positions, their forwards are a little weak and their centers are definitely weak. But the one thing they are heavy on is guards. So what would this mean for Damian Lillard? It's an interesting question. How will they perform is an interesting question. But Damian Lillard does bring a lot to the table because last year, playing alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo, and there's no Giannis Antetokounmpo or anything even like it on the Portland Trailblazers last year, playing against him or with him. He averaged 25 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game, a steal a game, with 2.8 turnovers a game, which is the worst. He was also 12th in minutes played per game, so the turnover to minute ratio was actually pretty good there per game. It's about 1 1/4. He shot 55%, and he shot 38 from 3. He's really good. 92 from 92 from free throws. So I wonder if he's ever had 50 40 90 because that's kind of close, I guess. Not super close, but it's close enough to think can he have done it? Probably has. Uh, so obviously Damian Lillard, now talking about what now that we've gone over his stats, how I think he'll fit into this Blazers rotation is a veteran guy. Is a guy who's like, yeah, it's not going to be 25 a game, mostly because of the injury. Like, don't get your hopes up for that type of Damian Lillard to be in Portland. What this Damian Lillard is going to be the hometown hero, right? Everyone is happy to see him. He'll still be a star player. He'll be the starting point guard, but he's not going to play 35 minutes a game. He's probably going to play like 25 to 30, which is still a lot. But he's going to take a serious step down this next season and the coming season after that. And I think that's his 2 years. And I think after that, he will hang up these shoes there. I think he will call it quits after this contract expires. But for this, I think he's going to take a step back. He's going to let guys like Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simons, they're going to cook, right? He's kind of going to have to backseat. And the main reason for this backseat, honestly, it's really because of Achilles tear. After some very quick research, it seems that Achilles tears take usually about 10 months to recover from. And since it happened in April, that would be just after the All-Star break, because I'm assuming you wouldn't push him back before the All-Star break. So he's not going to be an All-Star. But he might not even play next season. That's if you're lucky. Because while it does take 10 months, sometimes you need extra precautions, and also just to be safe. You don't want to send him back right when he gets healthy, I feel like. I've seen that work out with my team, and he got injured, and Joel Embiid, he got injured very quickly after for much worse. Tore meniscus, obviously, but it's a rough topic on when you should send it back, and it might just be like you're not playing next year, and then you have your final goodbye to basketball kind of year. How do I think the Blazers perform next year? Not much better, right? Because Dame's not going to be playing. They had a record 36-46 this year, and they were 12th in the Eastern Conference. They were 3 games behind the playing spot, so they might if they're lucky jump into that spot now that they got Drew. Wait, did they hold on? Hold on, I'm just gonna confirm something because I didn't see his name on the team sheet there. And that might have been. Oh, yeah, they traded Anthony Simons for Drew Holiday. That's a bad trade. I forgot about that. I forgot. Yeah, so they don't actually have Anthony Simons. I'm sorry. Bad reporting there from me. But Drew Holiday, same difference. Not really, because he's super old. He's not developing, but he'll still be in that role. But sorry, I got something in my mouth right now. But I just think it won't be as good for a game. Obviously, at the iconic 71-point game against Houston, he's got some really good, really good performances. That wasn't too long ago. I mean, Steve Steimel was on that team, so that was probably that was 2023. That was the year before he left. So I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference or an impact. I think it's a cool signing, like it's a nice feel-good story. I just don't see it as a big signing. Now that we've talked about what I think for their future, let's take a look at the deal. I have this pulled up. So, oh my goodness, it's 3 years, not 2 years. So he will play 2 years. Maybe that's why I was mixed up because I don't think he's playing next year. So he's actually making $42 million. That's a lot for Damian Lillard, I feel like. I understand both sides wanted this deal to happen. So I feel like the Trailblazers definitely compensated a bit because they want Lillard, like they want to have that, that the vibe. They want Portland people of that city to root for them and to get them to be more into it. Bring back the guy that single-handedly carried you to the playoffs multiple years. Bring back the guy that hit one of the most iconic shots in NBA history with Paul George. So I understand a little bit overspending. Wow. So he is and he has a no trade clause as well. The second, the only player besides LeBron James. Um, yeah, and Bradley Beal also had one of those, but he no longer does because they bought out his contract in Phoenix and he went to LA. I don't know if I report on that move, probably not, but it's not really a big move. He kind of sucks now, you know what I mean? It's not groundbreaking. Like the name, it's like, oh, Bradley Beal, but then you look at Bradley Beal's age and what his stats were, and it kind of gets to the point of not as exciting as a move like Lillard. I feel like since those stats are really good, 25, 7, 4 was it 5 maybe. It's really good stats. I know it's going to regress, especially off a injury this late in your career, but I think that Lillard has done great. I don't think this would have happened without the injury. No, I think he'd probably stay in Milwaukee, depending on how that season wrapped up. But I understand his decision, but I also think his decision kind of shows us that he is winding down. It will be fun to watch. It will remind me of the old NBA. I didn't watch too much NBA at that time, but I remember I'd occasionally watch my Sixers, and now, of course, I watch all 82, right? And I remember I loved Dario Saric. He's probably on those team, 2019, 2020. That was crazy. Matisse Thybulle, daily vlogs. Now we got McCain's vlogs. I watched a video the other day of Jeremy McCain reacting to his own highlights, which is kind of weird because it's like you're in the you're reacting to yourself, and it's like I was thinking like, is he gonna clip farm during this? And because if you're clip farming, it's kind of embarrassing because you're reacting to yourself. So if you're like freaking out, then it's weird. That was way off topic. It was just blurted out there, but I think that's because I'm kind of winding down. Once again, quick 2 sentence summary: Lillard to Lillard wipe. All right, Lillard to the Blazers, 3 years, $42 million, homecoming deal. This deal is not going to be that huge. It is a feel-good story. Book complete, and Lillard will retire in the year of 2027 or 2028, depending on what that contract expiration date actually is. I think it's 2028, but this feels weird for that to only be 3 years away in terms. But yeah, it will be 2028 probably. Anyways, if you watched this far, thank you so much for watching. I know this is kind of like a here podcast, like you know what I'm saying, but I need to put something up and I'm gonna film another one and probably set a release date. I'll see what I can do because I need to find some things to talk about before I leave for Texas because I'm going on a week-long vacation and I cannot bring my setup with me. Maybe I'll log it on my phone and do a YouTube short or something. I'll see. I'll see what I decide to do. But once again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.